Hey guys, sorry I couldn't be here today, but we are going to do a little mini review for your quiz that is tomorrow. And so we are just having a reference sheet that we can use during our quiz. And let's start by, of course, proving that these triangles are congruent with our side. So of course that is 3 pairs of congruent sides. So we would say these two are congruent. These two are congruent, and of course, these three are, this third side is also congruent. So 3 pairs of congruent sides, nothing too difficult there. For side, angle side, remember that is 2 sides and an included angle. And if you forgot what included means, that means in between the 2 congruent sides. So you want to make a little note of that, in between congruent sides. That's what included means. And so if we have, for example, one here, this of course, that's going to give you your S. And then we would have another congruent side. That angle does have to be in between those 2. So one here, one there, that would be a side angle side. For angle side angle, that is 2 angles and an included side. So here, the important part is that it is included side. So again, in this case, we need that in between congruent angles. So for example, if I have this angle that is congruent to this one, and then I have another pair of congruent angles here. Remember, you match them by the number of rings. The side that is congruent has to be in between those 2. That's what they mean by included side. So that would be angle, side, angle. Moving on, we have angle, angle, side. That is 2 angles and a side opposite them. So in this case, side opposite them. So the side can't be in between. So nothing in between the angles. Nothing in between those angles. So the side should be, of course, not between. So for example, if we had a pair of congruent here, congruent angles, and another pair over here, there has to be 0 things right here in the middle. So your side should be either here or here, and I'm going to mark mine over there. So again, nothing in between those angles. You're always double checking these. Your hypotenuse leg, it is 1 hypotenuse and any leg of 1 right triangle. Remember, 9 times out of 10 it will be hypotenuse leg, but it won't be hypotenuse leg always if you see this little right angle right here. And so remember we talked about this, in order to find the hypotenuse, you have to start at the vertex of that angle, draw it straight across, and label that H. So from vertex, straight across, label that H. The other 2, that will be a leg. So this is a leg, that is a leg, this is a leg, that is another leg. So remember we said 1 hypotenuse has to be congruent, so we have to have matching number of marks there, as well as 1 leg. So I'm going to say these 2 legs are congruent. So the reason sides are congruent is because they're given. It is the definition of a midpoint, and it is a reflexive property. The reasons angles are congruent is that they're given. Don't forget your vertical angles. These are important. And we also have alternate interior, exterior, and corresponding, but these have to have parallel lines. We'll talk a little bit more about that next week. And angle bisector. So bisector actually creates two congruent angles. This is super important. We will be talking about that next week. And so again, that is a little recap. You can go ahead and get started on your packet. Remember, those questions that need a missing angle or whatever, it has to be written down in correct notation. So you can't just tell me this needs an angle. This packet is due at the end of class, so as soon as you're done, turn it in. If you're not done, turn it in anyway. And that's all we have. I'll see you tomorrow for your quiz.